Have you ever wondered why some people prefer sleeping in certain positions over others? Some lie on their stomachs, others on their right or left side, and some curl up in a fetal position. And then there are those who wear pajamas and those who don't, as well as those who need blankets versus those who prefer nothing at all. If you haven't pondered over these sleeping habits, the Zen story I'm about to share might just make you reconsider how you sleep, especially if you're someone who hasn't yet tried sleeping on your left side. Stay with me until the end, because what you will learn could be eye-opening and might just change the way you've always slept. But first, if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our new content. In a serene Buddhist monastery nestled in the Japanese mountains, surrounded by tranquil gardens, the elderly and wise monk Shinzo decided to spend a special evening discussing the secrets of our sleeping habits. Under a luminous moon that seemed to bless the night, he gathered his devoted disciples in the main hall. Seated on a tatami mat, Shinzo's voice was as soothing as a gentle breeze, captivating everyone in the room. Today, dear disciples, we'll explore why sleeping on your left side can significantly benefit both your physical health and emotional well-being, Shinzo began. He explained that this practice wasn't just a random preference, but was deeply rooted in understanding the physiological and spiritual principles integral to the practice of sleep. The first benefit of sleeping on your left side, the monk shared, is optimal lymphatic drainage. Our lymphatic system is like a quiet river flowing through our body, carrying proteins, glucose, and other vital substances. Sleeping on the left side facilitates this flow, helping our body detoxify naturally, much like a river sweeps away fallen leaves. Shinzo's eyes twinkled as he delved deeper, describing how our internal organs, like the stomach and pancreas, benefit from this position. When we lie on our left side, we allow these organs to align perfectly, enhancing the movement of gastric juices and ensuring better digestion and absorption. Think of it as creating a sacred space for these organs to perform their functions gracefully, like dancers in a theatrical performance. The disciples listened, increasingly fascinated by the holistic view Shinzo presented, connecting the act of sleeping to broader spiritual and health practices that have been honed over centuries. By the end of the night, many were eager to adopt this simple change, hopeful to experience the profound benefits themselves. Sleeping like this isn't just a physical act, it's an invitation to an internal celebration, a silent celebration of enzymes preparing our bodies for a new day. Seeing the disciples so engaged, the monk Shinzo continued, speaking about the third gift of sleeping on the left side, purification. Resting on your left side, he explained, facilitates the flow of digestive waste through our bodies like a stream flowing through fertile soil. Our intestine becomes a garden where nutrients are deposited, and in the morning, our body prepares for an elimination ceremony, a daily rebirth. Under the soft light that filled the room, Shinzo delved into another benefit, this time focusing on the heart. Our heart is the ruler of our body, he said with a smile. By sleeping on the left side, we offer the heart a perfect backdrop for its work. The aorta, its messenger, begins its journey in a majestic arch towards the left, like a traveler crossing a bridge, making the journey easier and the blood flow more harmonious. Shinzo then touched upon the spleen, the devoted handmaiden. This hidden organ, the guardian of our life force, finds peace when we lie on our left side. Bodily fluids become messengers of this peace, making their way to the spleen like pilgrims arriving at a secret sanctuary, nourishing and invigorating. He then invited viewers to reflect. How have you slept until today? Write it in the comments and let's discuss this topic. Meanwhile, if you're enjoying the video, leave a like and share it. You will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. With a deep gaze, Shinzo introduced the sixth gift, speaking poetically about gravity, the silent master that guides our nightly journey. By aligning with gravity when we sleep on the left side, we enhance our lymphatic drainage, helping our body through its nightly purification ritual. In this position, we find a balance between body and mind, not just comfort for the internal organs, but a profound enrichment of our health and connection with the internal and external world. It's a true hymn to life, revealing itself in the dreams and quiet of the left side. Continuing, Shinzo shared that sleeping on the left side isn't merely a rest for the body, but an opportunity for inner and spiritual awakening. While the world lies in deep sleep, we, as practitioners of left-sided conscious sleep, immerse ourselves in the depths of being. It's a sacred moment where the mind frees itself from the chains of everyday thoughts, opening subtle doors to universal awareness. Shinzo, still smiling at his disciples, explained the concept of the balance between yin and yang in sleep. The left side, in its more yin nature, envelops us like an embrace of the night. The quiet that arises from this practice is a gift, an offering to our inner essence. Through concrete examples, Shinzo told of nights when the monks, immersed in the practice of conscious sleep on the left side, felt their energy flow like a calm river crossing their being. The vital energies, in harmony with nature, dance while the body rests, creating a harmony that resonates throughout the monastery. The benefits of this practice, therefore, go far beyond the physical aspect, involving the spiritual one. Delving deeper into the physical benefits, Shinzo recounted how elderly monks had experienced greater flexibility and strength in their meditation practices by embracing left-side sleeping. Thus, sleeping on the left side becomes a perfect complement to the search for enlightenment, preparing the ground for the mind and body. Between one story and another, monk Shinzo underscored the importance of bringing this awareness into everyday life, making it a healthy habit that we should never relinquish. It is not only in the quiet of the monastery that we can cultivate this practice, he stressed. Let us bring it into our homes, honoring our body as a temple in which the sacredness of the night resides. As Shinzo spoke, focusing on the sounds of the cicadas and the river that could be heard around the monastery, he added that nature itself teaches us the importance of aligning our sleep with the flow of the world. The left side, like a leaf cradled by the wind, connects us to this eternal dance, he explained. His disciples listened intently as Shinzo shared additional important benefits of sleeping on the left side. Sleeping on this side, he noted, facilitates breathing, creating a harmonious synergy between the flow of air and the beating of the heart. When you lie on your left side, your trachea and esophagus take on a more natural and straight position relative to your spine. This alignment facilitates the passage of air through the trachea towards the lungs, promoting freer breathing. Furthermore, Shinzo explained that the diaphragm, the main muscle involved in breathing, is located under the lungs. Sleeping on your left side allows your diaphragm to move more freely, promoting deep, smooth breathing. Additionally, because the heart is located on the left side of the chest, sleeping on this side reduces pressure on the heart and allows better blood circulation. This position can also help prevent acid reflux, as the stomach sits lower than the esophagus, reducing the risk of gastric juices backing up. Have you ever noticed, the monk asked, that the spine has a natural S-shaped curvature? When lying on your left side, this position better reflects the natural anatomical curvature of your spine, minimizing stress on your discs and joints. Remember, sleeping on your left side is not only a way to make your body rest better, but it becomes a path to awareness and spiritual growth. Just as Buddhist monks, being aware of the interconnection between body and mind, have always adopted the left side as the privileged position for sleep, you too should get used to doing so. This way, both your body and your mind will feel better. As the session concluded, Shinzo shifted the discussion towards self-healing, introducing another powerful narrative from Master Ko's Zen story. In the heart of an ancient monastery, where incense danced in the air and light filtered through ancient windows, the wise Master Kaido was about to begin a lecture on the art of healing oneself. As he entered the room, the attendees prepared to listen in respectful silence. "I wonder," Master Koid began in a sweeping voice, "if a person can really cure themselves of an illness." The air seemed to vibrate as those present waited for the answer to this vital question. You would think that if it were possible, hospitals would close and doctors would be out of work. To answer this, Master Ku presented the story of Hana, a young woman in fragile health but with a brave heart, who had come to the monastery months before to speak with him. "Are you confident that you can cure your illness?" Master Ko asked, turning to Hana. The silence that followed seemed like a pause before the roar of thunder. "Believing in yourself is the key," the Master continued, setting the stage for a profound exploration of self-healing and personal growth. Some people don't believe their bodies can heal, so they never learn to treat themselves without relying on medications or doctors, Master Kaido noted, as everyone was captivated by his words. He drew a fascinating scenario describing Hana's journey towards introspection that allowed her to get closer to self-healing. The first step is to understand the sentinels of your body. You must become sensitive, listen to the melody of your senses, become aware of yourself. Meditation is the path that will take you to this consciousness. Only then will you be able to identify what your body is missing, understand the melody of the disease, and therefore, how to overcome it. The story continued with Master Kaido revealing exciting details of starry nights, where Hana, with her wisdom, learned to calm her mind before sleeping. "The subconscious mind has the power to heal," Kaido explained in a confident tone. "When you close your eyes before going to sleep, be aware that your illness is healing little by little, like a garden that blooms in the silence of the night." Those present immersed themselves in the Master's stories, who asked them to imagine the healing of their illnesses as a journey. The mind will attract what it has seen during the journey, and the body, like a faithful companion, will follow the order that the mind produces. This is the key to healing through self-image. Based on Kaido's story and Hana's example, we can heal ourselves through the mind. First, through meditation and self-reflection, practices that allow us to calm down and listen to what is wrong. Then, through the practice of visualization, imagine ourselves already cured. Imagine the disease dissolving like snow under the sun. Because the mind works like this, if we imagine something and turn it into a vivid and real image before our eyes, the brain begins to reason as if that result had already been achieved. Master Ko spoke of another disciple who also adopted the practice of self-image and learned to visualize his healing through the power of the mind. The disciple, thanks to Kaido, learned to embrace self-love. "When we face illnesses or problems," said the Master, "we often begin to curse ourselves. Instead, we must love ourselves even when we are sick. Whoever loves himself cures his own illnesses." The story was like a painting that came to life, with splashes of color that moved those present. Master Ko spoke of quiet nights, in which the disciple learned to calm his mind and visualize his healing. After 30 days, Ko continued, the change was evident. The disease was losing strength like the fog that dissolves at dawn. And do you know why? Because when you cultivate specific thoughts and actions for 30 consecutive days, they become habits that you can no longer do without, and these trigger an irreversible process in the mind and body. They trigger a self-healing process. Master K concluded with a unique perspective on healing. The main point is that we must trust ourselves before seeking outside help. We must try to heal ourselves, and only when we feel we cannot do it, when our faith is tested, do we seek medical help. The story was like a symphony reaching its climax. As the day drew to a close, Master Ko looked at the group gathered before him and said, "Now go and experiment. Each of your healing stories is unique. And remember, every night before going to sleep, let your mind immerse itself in the certainty that each breath brings you closer to your recovery. Be the artists of your own well-being, with trust as your guide and love as your strength. May your path be illuminated by the light of inner healing." With these words, he inspired everyone to explore their own paths to healing. As Master Kato concluded his teachings, he slowly stood up, following the path towards the light filtering through the windows, leaving his audience immersed in reflections and powerful emotions. In conclusion, what does the story of Master Kato teach us? It teaches that healing is an inner journey and that we should not be afraid to embark on it. It reminds us that our faith should be a lighthouse and self-love the key, and that through practices like meditation, self-reflection, and visualization, we can truly heal ourselves. However, to achieve this, we must be willing to delve deeper into these issues and work on them with commitment and perseverance. Better yet, having the support of experts who can guide us on this path, teaching us step by step how to do it. Did you know that the way you breathe can lengthen or shorten your life? Yes, as counterintuitive as it may seem, that's exactly how it is. For example, a dog breathing about 30 times a minute lives only 10 to 15 years. Turtles, sharks, and other animals, some of the longest lived in the world, breathe about 3 times a minute and can live up to 500 years. And then there are us, human beings, who with our 15 to 20 breaths per minute live between 80 and 100 years. In this motivational video, using a Zen story and the wisdom of the Japanese monk Kei, we will see how we can work on our breathing to live more peacefully and longer. I recommend that you stay until the end, because I remind you that the Japanese are among the human beings who live the longest. Therefore, thanks to their wisdom and ability to achieve inner peace, they have much to teach us. In a remote village in Japan, in a Buddhist monastery surrounded by mountains and fog, lived the elderly monk Kei, known for his wisdom. His calm steps echoed in the stone corridors of the monastery as he headed towards the meeting place where his disciples awaited him, eyes eager to learn the secrets of life and serenity. Not only his disciples, but also doctors and yoga masters were present at the meeting, which focused on breathing as a tool for living long. A young disciple, driven by a thirst for knowledge and eager to learn more, immediately asked Kei, "Master, I have heard that breath control can reveal the secrets of life and lead to serenity. Can you teach us this ancient art?" Kei smiled kindly and took advantage of the boy's question to begin his lesson. "Breathing is the bridge between the body and the mind," he said. "Observe nature, and you will understand the secret of life. Look at the dog, which breathes hastily and lives a maximum of 15 years, and look at the turtle or shark, which breathes about 3 times a minute and lives up to 500 years. Kei continued, explaining the profound connection between breathing, longevity, and inner peace. The ancient sages understood that the number of breaths is limited, but not the time on earth. Therefore, they began to study how to reduce the number of breaths and increase their depth. Remember, slow and conscious breathing is the key to a peaceful and lasting life. Now, even science has arrived at this truth. To make these concepts more tangible, Kei asked the young disciple to come along for a practical session. "Practice abdominal breathing," he said, guiding the disciple through the expansion and contraction of the abdomen. With each breath, you will feel how your body tunes into the harmonious rhythm of the universe. After this practical demonstration, the master continued by telling stories of ancient yogis who, through breath control, achieved profound connections with the cosmos. Breathing is more than just a physiological act, he said. It is the thread that unites our being to the fabric of the universe. When we master breathing, we become attuned to the rhythm of existence. To explain the effect of breathing on the mind, Kay used concrete examples. Imagine your mind as a mirror. When the breath is agitated, the mirror is blurred. But when the breath is calm, the mirror reflects clearly. Conscious breathing dispels mental confusion, bringing clarity, peace, and serenity. As those present were increasingly captivated by the stories and examples they were hearing, Master Kay also introduced the importance of slowing down the pace of breathing in moments of stress and tension. When you feel anger or anxiety approaching, slow your breathing. It's an act of kindness to yourself, a way to give yourself a break and think about solutions to problems. To make the lesson even more valuable, Kay talked about the effect of breathing on sensory perception. Have you ever noticed that when your breathing slows, your perceptions become more acute? You can perceive sounds and smells with astonishing clarity. Life reveals itself in every conscious breath. The monk also shared an ancient mantra that embodies the essence of mindful breathing practice. Inhale kindness. As the master concluded his lesson, he slowly stood up, following the path towards the light that filtered through the windows, leaving his audience immersed in reflections and powerful emotions. In conclusion, what does the story of Master Kaido teach us? It teaches that healing is an inner journey and that we should not be afraid to start it. Our faith should be a lighthouse and self-love the key. Through practices like meditation, self-reflection and visualization, we can truly heal ourselves. However, to achieve this, we must be willing to delve deeper into these issues and work on them with commitment and perseverance. It is even better to have the support of experts who can guide us on this path, teaching us step by step how to do it. In this motivational video, using a Zen story and the wisdom of the Japanese monk Kay, we will see how we can work on our breathing to live more peacefully and longer. I recommend that you stay until the end, because I remind you that the Japanese are among the human beings who live the longest. Therefore, thanks to their wisdom and ability to achieve inner peace, they have much to teach us. In a remote village in Japan, in a Buddhist monastery surrounded by mountains and fog, lived the elderly monk Kay, known for his wisdom. His calm steps echoed in the stone corridors of the monastery as he headed towards the meeting place where his disciples awaited him, eyes eager to learn the secrets of life and serenity. Not only his disciples, but also doctors and yoga masters were present at the meeting, which focused on breathing as a tool for living long. A young disciple, driven by a thirst for knowledge and eager to learn more, immediately asked Kay, "Master, I have heard that breath control can reveal the secrets of life and lead to serenity. Can you teach us this ancient art?" Kay smiled kindly and took advantage of the boy's question to begin his lesson. "Breathing is the bridge between the body and the mind," he said. "Observe nature, and you will understand the secret of life. Look at the dog, which breathes hastily and lives a maximum of 15 years. And look at the turtle or shark, which breathes about 3 times a minute and lives up to 500 years. Kay continued, explaining the profound connection between breathing, longevity, and inner peace. The ancient sages understood that the number of breaths is limited, but not the time on earth. Therefore, they began to study how to reduce the number of breaths and increase their depth. Remember, slow and conscious breathing is the key to a peaceful and lasting life. Now, even science has arrived at this truth. To make these concepts more tangible, Kay asked the young disciple to come along for a practical session. "Practice abdominal breathing," he said, guiding the disciple through the expansion and contraction of the abdomen. "With each breath, you will feel how your body tunes into the harmonious rhythm of the universe." After this practical demonstration, the master continued by telling stories of ancient yogis who, through breath control, achieved profound connections with the cosmos. "Breathing is more than just a physiological act," he said. "It is the thread that unites our being to the fabric of the universe. When we master breathing, we become attuned to the rhythm of existence." To explain the effect of breathing on the mind, Kay used concrete examples. Imagine your mind as a mirror. When the breath is agitated, the mirror is blurred. But when the breath is calm, the mirror reflects clearly. Conscious breathing dispels mental confusion, bringing clarity, peace, and serenity. As those present were increasingly captivated by the stories and examples they were hearing, Master Kay also introduced the importance of slowing down the pace of breathing in moments of stress and tension. When you feel anger or anxiety approaching, slow your breathing. It's an act of kindness to yourself, a way to give yourself a break and think about solutions to problems. To make the lesson even more valuable, Kay talked about the effect of breathing on sensory perception. Have you ever noticed that when your breathing slows, your perceptions become more acute? You can perceive sounds and smells with astonishing clarity. Life reveals itself in every conscious breath. The monk also shared an ancient mantra that embodies the essence of mindful breathing practice. Inhale kindness, exhale gratitude. This mantra, Kay explained, reminds us to cultivate a compassionate heart through breathing. Each inhalation serves to receive kindness, and each exhalation serves to offer gratitude. The people present at the lesson felt more and more serene. Kay's story had become an invitation to explore the mystery of life through breathing. At the end of the lesson, Kay shared a very important practical tip. In the busyness of everyday life, take time to breathe consciously. Even a few minutes a day can transform your experience of life. Breathing is the portal to a fuller, more fulfilling life. Remember, your life is made out of breaths, and every breath is a gift. In conclusion, what does this story between age-old wisdom and medicine teach us? It teaches that correct breathing is crucial for maintaining health. However, this vital practice is rarely emphasized in schools or by most doctors. Effective breathing is not only limited to providing oxygen to the body and eliminating carbon dioxide, but it also extends to the awareness that air constitutes the main source of vital energy, a principle understood by ancient cultures. Breathing deeply means nourishing yourself with this vital energy that sustains us. Furthermore, correct breathing plays an essential role in massaging the thoracic and abdominal organs, contributing to their well-being. Remember, Kay said, breathing, although an automatic process of the body, can be voluntarily controlled. Although man has forgotten the correct way to breathe over the millennia, with a little effort, he can relearn it and give himself extra years of life in health and serenity. Have you ever thought about the enormous power of water in our lives? Have you heard how crucial it is in many self-healing processes? Water has always had great importance on symbolic, spiritual, and therapeutic levels, but many of us underestimate it. In this video, using a Zen story and intertwining spirituality with science, we will discover together the power of water for our physical and mental health. So stay until the end, because you will learn how to use it intelligently, making it a precious ally in keeping you healthy and keeping illnesses at bay. In the heart of an ancient Buddhist monastery, the elderly monk Hiroto spoke to his disciples about the enormous power of water in our lives. Water is the resource present in the greatest quantity on our planet and in all forms of life. Consequently, its quality and integrity are essential for survival. In all religions, water is a source of life. It cleans, purifies, and heals. Scientists have understood what we have always known. Water has memories that are modified by everything that is energy and vibrates. Now listen to me carefully. The drinking water we consume is charged with electromagnetic information during its journey from the source to our homes. Passing through old pipes made of lead or other materials and flowing near sewers, it is loaded with information that can be harmful to our health. So remember, water has the power to make us feel good or bad, depending on its quality and the substances we associate it with. I remember an elderly monk named Takashi, Hiroto added in a calm voice. He was plagued by digestive disorders, but with dedication and wisdom, he transformed his health through the conscious practice of drinking water. Every morning, he went to a mountain spring and drank the fresh water with gratitude, following the principles I am about to share with you. The disciples listened intently, immersed in the details of the stories Hiroto was beginning to tell. Another monk, Koshi, battled skin problems for years, Hoto continued. Then he learned that water could be a precious ally. He began drinking water stored in a terracotta container, noticing a notable reduction in his skin problems. The terracotta kept the water fresh, and through its contact with the material itself, became an elixir of health. As Hiroto spoke, the disciples began to understand that these stories were not simple anecdotes, but concrete testimonies of the connection between the art of drinking water and physical well-being. These testimonies, Hiroto said, are an invitation to explore this practice with an open mind and a grateful heart. A disciple raised his hand and asked, "Master, how can we apply these teachings in our daily lives? What concrete steps can we follow?" Hiroto smiled and replied, "Start with mindfulness. When you drink water, be present. Observe your thirst, listen to your body, and practice moderation, drinking slowly and with gratitude. Remember that water is not just a means to quench your thirst. It is nourishment for your whole being." The master continued to enrich the lesson with practical advice. Always remember to choose containers that do not contaminate the water. Store water with extreme wisdom, Master Hiroto advised, emphasizing the material, conservation methods, and effects on both our body and spirit. For instance, a copper vessel can provide specific benefits, such as improving digestion. As shown in Koshi's example, terracotta has purifying properties. Above all, avoid plastic. Mineral waters stored in warehouses or left under the sun for months can be harmful. Hiroto also highlighted the importance of water temperature, explaining that it can vary based on needs, room temperature, slightly warm or cool. His story flowed like a river, resonating deeply with the daily lives of his disciples. He made water drinking practices an integral part of their existence. I will tell you about Ako, a woman who embraced drinking water as an essential part of her morning ritual. Hoto continued. Every day before dawn, she would wake up and head to the monastery garden with a clay container. She collected dew water from the flower petals, which became her first daily source of nourishment for both body and spirit. The disciples were fascinated, imagining the petals capturing the freshness of the morning. Hiroto's stories not only illustrated the importance of this practice, but also inspired his disciples to view water as an elixir of life in every drop. He continued, "Imagine Yukiko, a young woman who, after years of a hectic lifestyle, began to suffer from stress and insomnia. Yukiko found that the daily practice of drinking hot green tea, rich in antioxidants and nutrients, not only helped her relax, but also provided her body with much-needed healing." As the disciples reflected on the importance of the ingredients added to water, Hiroto delved deeper into the topic, emphasizing the effectiveness of herbs such as mint and chamomile, which can enhance the healing properties of water. Another common practice, he explained, is using lemon in water. The vitamin C and antioxidants in lemon not only strengthen the immune system, but also aid in digestion. Dear friends, have you understood? Small steps can transform water into an even more powerful elixir, he said. The disciples began to realize that the choice of elements added to water was not random, but based on specific principles of healing and nourishment. Hiroto provided practical examples of individuals who had experienced tangible benefits through these practices. "I remember Suri, an elderly woman from the village," Hoto recounted. She had joint and arthritis problems. With the guidance of a local healer, she began drinking water enriched with turmeric roots. Over time, she noticed a dramatic improvement in her mobility and a reduction in pain. Turmeric, with its anti-inflammatory properties, became her daily remedy. Hiroto emphasized the importance of understanding the properties of natural elements and adapting drinking practices accordingly. "Every person is unique," he said, "and their healing means may vary. This in-depth understanding can lead to more conscious choices when it comes to consuming water. It's like a personalized ritual that honors both the body and mind." The disciples, now fully immersed in the teachings, raised their questions. "Master," one of them asked, "what are the spiritual aspects involved in this practice? Is there a deeper meaning beyond body care?" Hiroto smiled and nodded. "Of course," he replied. "When we drink water with awareness, we connect with the vital element of nature. Every sip becomes an act of gratitude for the life that flows through us. It is a time when we merge with the universe, recognizing our interconnectedness with all creation." He introduced meditation as an integral part of the practice. When you drink water, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel the water flow through your body. Let each sip be a moment of mindfulness and connection with the essence of life. With these teachings, Master Hiroto encouraged his disciples to embrace the practice of drinking water mindfully, not just as a means of hydration, but as a spiritual ritual that nourishes both the body and soul. This is not just physical nourishment, but a celebration of life itself, Master Hiroto continued. While you hold the glass in your hands, concentrate on all the good things you would like to happen to you, and then drink. In conclusion, Hiroto's story is not just about how drinking water mindfully can lead to better health, but it is a broader statement about the connection between body, mind, and spirit. This story teaches us that true healing requires a holistic approach, one that embraces ancient wisdom and applies it to our daily lives. Remember to consider every sip of water a sacred act, an integral part of a larger journey towards complete well-being. Live in harmony with yourself and the world around you, embracing the ancestral wisdom that continues to flow through the currents of existence. Did you know that there are at least 9 strange events that happen to you while you sleep? How many times have you suddenly woken up in the grip of very strange sensations during the night? During sleep, our body rests, and the mind ventures on a journey without borders, among the folds of dreams and visions. But are dreams just figments of our imagination, or do they lead us to deeper truths? What secrets do the night hours hide when the soul seems to wander between invisible worlds? In the Zen story you are about to hear, we will explore the strangest spiritual events that happen to us while we sleep. Stay until the end so you don't miss a single one. Only then will you understand if you too have experienced certain events. In the remote mountains of Japan, among silent forests and winding paths, stood an ancient Buddhist temple where the wise monk Shinzo spent his days teaching his followers the path to enlightenment. One evening, as the sun was setting behind the mountain peaks, the disciples gathered around the fire in the temple courtyard, eager to listen to the master's words. One of them, with eyes shining with curiosity, dared to break the silence. "Master Shinzo," he said respectfully, "what are the strange things that happen when we sleep?" The old monk smiled wisely, searching the eyes of his followers with deep understanding. "The strange things that happen during sleep," he replied in a calm voice, "are profound truths that are revealed only to those who know how to listen to them with their hearts open. In the mysterious kingdom of the night, when the sky is painted with stars and the moon rises silently like a guardian of sleep, the world takes on an aura of enchantment and mystery. It is precisely during these dark hours that our body abandons itself to rest, and the mind ventures on a journey without borders. Sleep thus becomes a portal to unknown dimensions, an opportunity to explore the depths of the soul and discover hidden truths." With an eloquent gesture of his hand, Shinzo invited his disciples to come closer to him and began to tell a story that would lead them through the mysteries of sleep and spirituality. "One night in a remote village in the mountains," Shinzo began, "a young monk named Kaido had an extraordinary dream." The firelight danced across his wrinkled face as the disciples listened curiously. "In this dream," Shinzo continued, "Kaido walked along a moonlit path, surrounded by an atmosphere of serenity and mystery. It was not just any dream, but a prophetic dream," the monk explained, "a sign of the mind's power to penetrate beyond the veil of time." Next, Kaido found himself crossing invisible boundaries and traveling through unknown worlds, soaring beyond his physical body, Shinzo continued. "It was a real astral journey, an exploration of the vastness of the universe and our connection with it," said the monk, looking into the eyes of his disciples. "During his journey," Shinzo recounted, "Kaido encountered spirits of ancient masters who offered him wisdom and guided him on his path. Communications with spirits," Shinzo stated, "are a reflection of our inner search and connection with the divine that permeates everything." In another dream, the monk continued, Kaido experienced profound spiritual healing as his spirit was regenerated in his sleep. "Spiritual healing," he said, "is a process of purification of the soul that brings us to true self-awareness." During his dream journey, Shinzo continued, Kaido felt himself lifted from his body and floated above it, free from earthly bonds. "Out-of-body experiences," he explained, "remind us that we are more than what we see, that our essence extends beyond the confines of our skin." During his dream, the monk narrated, Kaido came into contact with his higher self, realizing his connection to the universe. "Contact with the higher self," said Shinzo, "is an experience of unity and enlightenment that shows us the ultimate truth of our existence." Kaido's dreams were full of symbols and hidden meanings, Shinzo continued, which guided him on his spiritual path. "Dream work," he explained, "is an opportunity to explore the unconscious and integrate hidden parts of our psyche." And finally, just before he awoke, Kaido had a sudden epiphany, Shinzo concluded, a vision of the ultimate truth that illuminated his soul, making him understand many things about himself. "But what is hidden behind what I told you?" asked Master Shinzo rhetorically. "Now we will see exactly what path Kaido took during his dreams," he added. "First of all, I told you about his prophetic dreams," Shinzo began with a compassionate smile. "They are like luminous paths that lead us to the future. Remember, when a village elder dreamed of an impending storm and warned us in time, dreams give us a vision of the time to come, offering us precious insights to navigate the waters of life." Master Shinzo's teachings continued to resonate with his disciples, urging them to embrace their dreams as gateways to deeper understanding and enlightenment. We ask you to leave a comment with your experiences, If you are appreciating the video, like and share it so we can continue to produce new content like this every day. Another experience lived by Kaido, which I spoke to you about, is that of astral travel, continued the monk. These are like journeys of the soul through the vast universe of the spirit. Imagine soaring above snow-capped mountains and dancing among the stars, exploring worlds of light and beauty beyond the veil of matter. In these moments, our spirit frees itself from the chains of the body and savors the freedom of the infinity that surrounds us. Another event Kaido experienced in his dreams was communicating with the spirits of old and wise masters. Shinzo said calmly. These communications, he continued, are like sweet melodies that resonate in the silence of the night. Every time we dream of meeting a deceased loved one or receiving a message from the angels, it is as if the sky itself bends towards us, offering comfort and wisdom for our earthly journey. Spiritual healing, the monk continued with deep compassion, is like a loving embrace of the universe that envelops our wounded spirit. It is another event that happens during the hours of sleep. When we fall asleep, our body regenerates, and the soul finds inner peace in the arms of the divine. Every night, in essence, we are surrounded by unconditional love that heals our deepest wounds. Continuing the lesson, Shinzo spoke about out-of-body experiences, explaining that they are like flights of the soul into unknown and wonderful worlds. During sleep, we can leave our physical bodies and venture into spiritual places, meeting beings of light and receiving teachings directly from angels. It is an experience that reminds us of our true spiritual nature and our connection to the divine. An experience through which we can mend the wounds we carry in our hearts and souls. Contact with the higher self, said the monk in a serene voice, is like sweet caresses of the soul that guide us towards our spiritual mission. During sleep, we get closer to our higher self and receive clear intuitions and visions that illuminate our path. It is as if our spirit were reunited with the divine source from which everything originates. The dream work, Shinzo continued with profound wisdom, is another of the events I told you about in the story about Kaido. It is like a silent dialogue between us and our unconscious, revealing the secrets of the soul. Through the symbols and images that dreams bring, we can discover hidden truths and face our fears and challenges with courage and awareness. Remember, dear disciples, that every dream is a piece of the puzzle of the soul that helps us understand who we really are and where we are going. Night meditation, said the monk, is another experience Kaido had. It is like a silent prayer that brings us closer to the divine and allows us to achieve enlightenment. Before falling asleep, let's immerse ourselves in a state of meditation that prepares us for deep and meaningful sleep. It is a way to open our hearts and minds to the divine presence that envelops us in an embrace of love. Do you remember what happened to Kaido at the end of his dream? Asked the monk. He had an epiphany, concluded Shinzo with a radiant smile. Illuminations are like flashes of wisdom that pierce the veil of ignorance. During sleep, we can experience moments of spiritual awakening in which we perceive the ultimate truth of existence and the beauty of the universe. It is a transformative experience that brings us into the light of divine awareness. The experience of enlightenment, he said, is the culmination of our spiritual journey, an awakening to the supreme truth, the ultimate goal of a night of deep and restorative sleep. Have you ever heard of the enormous power of water in curing diseases? Have you ever wondered if the way you drink water can affect your physical and mental well-being? In a world that lives in the name of frenzy, most of us drink only to quench our thirst, completely neglecting the benefits of this nectar of life. Instead, you should stop for a moment and ask yourself, how can I use water to enhance my health and well-being? Are these questions, like, Is drinking water really that obvious? What if the secret to a balanced and vibrant life was hidden precisely in the art of consciously savoring every drop of water we swallow? Water has always had great importance on a symbolic, spiritual, and therapeutic level, especially in Oriental culture. In the following Zen story, you will discover its role in the self-healing of body and spirit, thanks to 3 methods that you should make into daily habits. If you stay until the end of the video, you will have 3 rules for using water in a conscious and healing way. In a quiet monastery hidden in the Himalayan mountains, the wise Buddhist monk Ashwe stood as a spiritual guide to those seeking balance and wisdom in their lives. One day, Ashwe gathered a large group of people under the shade of the centuries-old cherry trees that adorned the gardens to share precious teachings on the importance of water for the body and spirit. "Look at the water," Ashwe began, pointing to the river that flowed a few meters away. "It is the fluid of life. Just as it flows in rivers and oceans, it also flows within us, nourishing every cell in our body and purifying our mind. Water is much more than just a physical necessity. It is the very foundation of life, the connective tissue that weaves our existence together invisibly and powerfully. But in addition to its indispensable function in keeping our body hydrated, water reveals a profound connection with our mind, a bond that goes beyond simply satisfying thirst. In this harmonious dance between the body and the mind, water stands as a key element for our well-being, an inexhaustible source of energy and reflection. Listen to me carefully. Water is a source of life and cleanses, purifies, and heals diseases from the inside. This is why it is essential that each of us learns to consume it in the right way. Today, I will share with you 3 methods for drinking it, which, if applied consistently, can provide enormous benefits to your body and spirit. But before delving into these 3 methods, it is crucial that I make a premise so that you understand something very important. First of all, when we drink, we must be present to ourselves and develop awareness of what we are doing. This is because, on a spiritual level, it is essential that drinking water is not experienced as a mechanical, banal, and obvious action. If, when we drink, we concentrate on what we are doing, that moment becomes a meditative act, a practice to reconnect with our inner essence. As you bring the glass of water to your mouth, hold it firmly in your hands and think of something positive. Think of the good things you want to happen and be grateful. After this necessary introduction, the wise monk Ashwe, with the serenity that distinguishes him, began to talk about the 3 methods of taking water to ensure that it can become a real medicine. The first method, he said, is to drink a cup of warm water mixed with the juice of half a lemon every morning. This simple morning ritual, Ashwe said, is like a gentle touch at the door of your health. The abundant vitamin C present in lemon juice becomes your main ally. The combination of water and lemon is antibacterial and strengthens the immune defenses. The warm temperature of the water is important because if it is cold, it creates a shock to your digestive system and body in general. As people hung on his lips, the monk smiled and continued, "The acidic taste of lemon can be deceiving, but I invite you to reflect on the wonder of nature. Despite its acidity, lemon has an alkalizing effect on the body. In simple terms, it helps balance pH, detoxifying and de-acidifying the body. Drinking water and lemon is like renewing yourself every morning, a kind gesture that can compensate for the excesses of the previous day, especially if you have eaten meat and other heavy foods." Ashwe, with his wisdom, also highlighted the diuretic effect of water and lemon. This morning elixir can help the body eliminate accumulated toxins and waste. Think of this elixir as a clean river flowing through your system, carrying away what is no longer needed. Concluding, the monk invited those present to consider this practice not only as a physical gesture, but also as an opportunity to start the day with awareness and gratitude for the health that flows within them. "Drink slowly, with awareness and gratitude," he said, "and let the lemon water be a bringer of well-being that accompanies you through the journey of each new day." While the disciples listened to the Master's words with growing interest, Ashue introduced the second method by which water can become a powerful ally of our health: drinking hot water during the day. Drinking hot water warms the body from the inside, improving circulation and contributing to muscle relaxation, advised the monk. This simple daily act, which is taught to us by Ayurvedic medicine, can be a purification ritual, a way to release accumulated tensions before being consumed. The story continued to unfold like a river flowing through the daily lives of ordinary people. Ashue inserted details that resonated in the minds of his disciples, making water drinking practices an integral part of their existence. He said, "Start with mindfulness. When you drink water, be present, observe your thirst, listen to your body, and practice moderation. Drink slowly and with gratitude. Remember that water is not just a means to quench your thirst. It is nourishment for your whole being." The Master continued to enrich the lesson with practical advice. Always remember to choose containers in which you store the water with extreme wisdom. Depending on the material, the way of conservation, and the effects of the water itself on our organism and spirit can change. A copper vessel can provide specific benefits, such as improving digestion. Terracotta, as I showed you with the example of koshi, has purifying properties. Above all, forget about plastic. Mineral waters crammed into warehouses or under the sun for months can be harmful. Also, be aware of the water temperature. Depending on your needs, it can be at room temperature, slightly warm or cool. Ashue's teachings encouraged his disciples to embrace mindful water drinking as a sacred and healing practice, enhancing both physical health and spiritual well-being. However, the water must be boiled slowly in a steel, terracotta, or copper saucepan, added the Master. This practice gives water beneficial properties, such as increasing digestive fire, the process that helps us digest and dissolve toxins, which are then eliminated through designated channels, facilitating the body's purification process. The practice of drinking hot boiled water must become a daily ritual. It is recommended to drink it at regular intervals during the day, especially in the morning on an empty stomach. The amount of water to drink varies based on the season, time of day, and the individual's needs. It is important to carefully follow specific instructions to obtain the maximum benefit. What I recommend is to consult an Ayurvedic doctor if you want to do things right, Ashue added. Each individual, following these specific guidelines, can integrate this simple gesture into their daily routine, thus contributing to the well-being of the body and mind, he continued. Finally, Ashue introduced the little-known concept of solarized water. Place the water in blue glass containers and expose them to sunlight, he said. This process will enrich the water with positive energy. In this way, you will absorb the warmth of the sun and the beneficial energy of the color blue, bringing balance to your mind and spirit. The process that takes place in solarized water enriches it with healing vibrations. Inside our body, water is a transporter of energy, triggering healing processes. At the end of his lesson, the Master was happy to see the joy in the eyes of the disciples and to discover how everyone had the desire to delve further into these topics. In conclusion, what does this story teach us? He asked. Every drop of water we drink should remind us to nourish our body and soul with love and care. Thanks to these three methods, we can take care of our body and our soul. Think of water as a train carrying vibrations. Without enough water, vibration energy will not be able to flow through the body. So, drink the right amount of water and do it mindfully to bring the maximum benefit to your health. What can we do to improve our physical and mental health? How can we find balance in the daily hustle and bustle? What if I told you that thanks to a practice as old as the world, you can live better and even prevent diseases? And what diseases are we talking about? Thanks to the Zen story that you will hear shortly, you will discover that by keeping your legs up every day, you can free yourself from many ailments and illnesses. Stay until the end, because I assure you that you will be amazed by the many benefits that arise from keeping your legs elevated for at least 20 minutes a day. Furthermore, the last 2 points we will talk about are the most important of all for our physical and mental health. In an ancient Buddhist monastery nestled among centuries-old trees and streams flowing down from the mountains lived the elderly Master Katai, famous for his great knowledge of the human mind and body. One day, during a conference dedicated to emotional well-being, he spoke to his disciples about a practice that was as simple as it was effective: raising one's legs for 20 minutes a day, a practice that, as often happens with ancient wisdom handed down by elders, hid a true treasure of well-being behind its apparent simplicity. "Dear disciples," Katai began, "what would it be like to rediscover well-being and prevent some important pathologies thanks to a simple exercise that we can all do?" As the people at the conference nodded, curious to hear the details of what the monk had anticipated, Katai continued, "To fully understand the importance of this practice, we must explore the intricate pathways of blood circulation. The ancient Buddhist monks and the healers who followed the teachings of Oriental medicine understood that the heart, the tireless worker of our life, experiences considerable effort to make blood flow to every part of the body. They concluded that raising one's legs, such a humble gesture, proved to be an act of kindness towards the heart, relieving its strain and promoting more efficient circulation. Katai's words were linked to a specific practice, a yoga position that involved elevating the legs vertically along the wall. Not a physical exercise, but a technique to establish a deep connection between mind and body, he explained. With the legs raised, the internal balance of our organism becomes palpable, and the consequence is the tranquility and calm guaranteed by improved circulation to the trunk and head. A disciple, eager to know more, raised his hand and asked, "Master, what are the benefits of this practice, and how can such a simple exercise bring so many benefits?" Katai smiled and continued, "This practice brings many advantages as long as it is carried out consistently every day, especially in the evening. Set aside 15 or 20 minutes of your time, lie down on the floor, and stretch your legs up the wall. When you do it, I recommend using very comfortable clothes to avoid any compression of the veins that could hinder proper blood circulation." "But what are the concrete benefits of this practice?" the monk asked rhetorically, smiling as he saw the impatience of the disciples. "Let's see them one by one," he added. "The first benefit," Katai spoke about, is the reduction of edema in the legs and feet. Often, due to work or other reasons, our legs are put to the test and edema is created. Raising the legs promotes the flow of fluids, leading to a lightening of the lower limbs. Imagine what it means for your tired legs to take off your shoes and find relief by being elevated for a few minutes. The second benefit Katai spoke about also concerned the legs. Raising your legs becomes a real panacea, not only for blood circulation, but also for the muscles. Thanks to this simple exercise, the tension accumulated during the day in the legs, feet, and hips melts away. Changing your posture and releasing tension offers considerable relief, the master explained. The third benefit of keeping your legs elevated is related to digestion. Katai explained how raising the legs and leaving the head resting on the floor helps to decongest accumulated fluids, thus improving digestion. The connection between posture and digestive function reveals another fundamental aspect of this age-old practice, one that modern scientists have dedicated many studies to. What do you think of what you're hearing? Write it in the comments and let's compare. Also, if you are enjoying this video, please like and share it. This way, you will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth. And now, let's continue with the most important benefits of this practice. Another important and useful benefit of keeping the legs raised is linked to the relaxation of the nervous system, continued the monk. This practice, in fact, positively influences breathing, promoting correct inspiration and exhalation. When we keep our legs elevated, the position promotes better blood flow, reducing pressure in the lower areas of the body. This can reduce the feeling of muscle tension, especially in the legs, neck and lower back, thus alleviating the load on these muscles. You should know that muscle relaxation is closely linked to the nervous system, as tense and contracted muscles can send stress signals to the brain. Therefore, raising your legs for 20 minutes a day helps to modify the axis of posture, reducing the tension accumulated in the legs, feet, and hips. This practice can therefore induce a relaxation response in the nervous system. Additionally, the raised leg position can affect breathing. When we are in this position, we hold more air and focus on slower and more rhythmic breathing. This type of breathing has a direct impact on the nervous system, inducing a relaxation response. Deeper, more mindful breathing can reduce stress and anxiety, promoting an overall sense of calm and tranquility. In summary, raising the legs not only acts directly on muscular tension, but through the connection between muscles, breathing and the nervous system, helps to promote an overall state of relaxation of the body and mind. While the disciples nodded and compared notes with each other in appreciation, Katai continued his lesson by introducing one of the most important benefits of all, mental calm and the induction into meditation. The daily practice of leg lifting, he said, with its only 20 minutes of effort, promises immediate physical well-being, which is also reflected in the mind. One of the most beautiful things about this technique, he added, is that it almost instinctively leads to meditation, inducing a rest of the mind and an experience of presence and awareness of the body. In the profound practice of lifting your legs for 20 minutes a day, each of you, dear disciples, can glimpse not only a physical ritual, but also a path towards mental calm and serenity that go beyond the body itself. While we keep our legs raised with our arms relaxed, we experience a union of balance between mind and body. Our breathing, the noble vehicle of life, becomes the essence of this ritual. In fact, slow and rhythmic breathing, guided by awareness, opens the doors to inner peace. Each inhalation and exhalation becomes a step towards a profound calm, a harmony that embraces our being. In this state, we find our mind freeing itself from the shackles of daily turmoil, allowing us to immerse ourselves in the present moment. The nervous system, usually tormented by the tensions of the world, finds refuge in this practice. Muscle tensions dissolve, calm spreads from the stomach to the neck, and the mind, guided by the inner light, frees itself from the weight of daily worries. The mind opens to deeper awareness, allowing thoughts to flow and dissolve like waves on a calm shore. In the silence of the mind, we experience the essence of meditation, embracing stillness and the experience of being immersed in the present moment. As you can see in this daily ritual, dear disciples, you find not only the well-being of the body, but also the refuge of the soul. In this ancient ritual, you will find the path to true harmony. Imagine your heart as the fulcrum of an ancient clock, said the monk, introducing the most important benefit of all. Its relentless work of pumping blood requires significant effort, he added. The The practice of lifting your legs for 20 minutes a day can reduce this effort, improving blood circulation and reducing the risk of heart problems. This technique essentially turns into an act of love towards our vital organ. In fact, when the legs stand vertically, a gentle pressure acts in synergy with the force of gravity. This pressure promotes blood flow, easing the task of our noble heart in pumping blood to the extremities. In this way, our heart frees itself from an excessive load, dancing lightly in the rhythm of life. Imagine the heart as the center of an ancient monastery with intricate corridors and secret rooms. When we lift our legs, we allow this rest center to expand and breathe, relieving the pressure that sometimes afflicts our silent guardian. This act of rest towards the heart translates into tangible benefits. The risk of heart disease is mitigated, the arteries find a clear path, and the heart, gratified, continues to beat with strength and vitality. Remember that cardiovascular health is the key to a long and fulfilling life. The monk looked at his disciples, reflecting on the beauty of the connection between the teacher and the students, and added, "Just as we lift our legs to relieve the weight of the body, we can lift our spirit to lighten the burden of life. Remember, my dear disciples, that every gesture, even the most humble, can become a path to well-being. In the practice of lifting our legs, we have discovered a hidden treasure of health and tranquility, and the daily practice of nourishing our being in all its dimensions. It offers us a path to inner peace. The moral of the story is clear. In simplicity and awareness, every action, however modest, can lead to great benefits. Through the practice of lifting the legs, Katai had guided his disciples towards a path of health, well-being, and wisdom, in which the correlation between mind and body is fundamental. Are you aware of how crucial the quality of sleep is for your health? Sleep is an important part of every individual's life, since it is during sleep that the body and mind have the opportunity to rest and recharge to face the next day's activities. The power of sleep, or a quality night's rest, should absolutely not be underestimated if we want to live healthily and at peace with ourselves. In fact, sleeping little and poorly can lead to numerous health problems. Sleeping well, on the other hand, helps the self-healing processes of the mind and body. Thanks to the Zen story that you will hear shortly and the age-old wisdom of Buddhist masters, you will discover 9 techniques to improve the quality of your sleep. So don't miss even a minute of this precious video. In fact, if you stay until the end, you will have the weapons to keep stress at bay, take care of your heart health, boost your immune defenses, and much more. And when you finish watching this video, we recommend that you also watch the ones we suggest in the description, because, put together, they will help you radically improve your health. In an ancient village in Japan, there lived an elderly monk named Aki, famous for his wisdom and the profound teachings related to the mind and body that he dispensed to his disciples. One day, a young man with eyes full of personal worries and anxieties linked to the frenzy of daily life asked Aki for advice on finding inner peace. "Master," said the young man, "for months I have felt very stressed. I forget things easily. I often get colds. Simply put, I'm not well at all. What can I do?" Aki welcomed him kindly, and after asking him a few questions, immediately understood that the boy's problem was poor quality sleep. So he decided to help him by teaching him what to do to sleep peacefully again. "Dear boy," began the monk, "if you take care of your sleep, you will take care of both your body and your mind, and all the problems you have will vanish, allowing you to gain the peace and serenity that you lack. You should know that sleeping well and enough helps repair and regenerate the body. During sleep, in fact, our body produces proteins and hormones that help repair tissues and fight infections. Good rest keeps blood pressure and heart rate stable, thus protecting the heart and circulatory system. Furthermore, good quality sleep reduces stress and anxiety and improves memory and concentration. It strengthens the immune defenses thanks to the increase in cytokines, proteins that help fight infections and inflammation. Lack of sleep, however, in the long run, can cause hypertension, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and even some types of cancer, not to mention weight gain, poor digestion, and skin problems. The young man, increasingly attentive to the master's words, intervened. So, can we say that sleep has a decisive role in all the main aspects of our health? Of course, Aki replied. I have seen people who, after starting to sleep well again, have defeated many ailments, from the simplest to the most complicated ones. So now, listen to me carefully, because I will teach you 9 techniques through which you can take care of your sleep. The first technique Aki shared was the ritual of relaxing before going to sleep. This ritual, rooted in Buddhist wisdom, begins with creating an environment conducive to relaxation. A hot bath prepared with attention, awareness, and respect not only cleans the body, but also dissolves the tensions accumulated during the day, said the monk. The transition from a hot shower or bath to a cooler atmosphere provides the body with a positive shock, preparing the mind for rest. The second technique is the use of soothing herbal teas, such as chamomile, valerian, and mint. These herbs, Aki added, have properties that calm the mind and promote restful sleep. In ancient times, the preparation of these herbal teas was described as a gesture of self-care, a practice that encouraged awareness and respect for nature. When you prepare them, remember to be focused on the here and now, so that the ritual of preparing them itself has a regenerating and calming role on your mind. The third technique is mindfulness meditation, a practice that consists of being fully present in the here and now without judging. In the evening, find a quiet place, Aki said, and sit comfortably. Then focus on your breathing, and every time thoughts crowd your mind again, chase them away by simply focusing on your breathing again. These are the key steps to calming your mind, reducing cortisol levels which create hyperactivity, and preparing you for a deep, restful sleep. The fourth technique consists of using melatonin. Melatonin, said the master, is nothing more than a natural substance already present in our organism. By introducing at least 1 melatonin every evening, we fall asleep more easily. Melatonin, in fact, has a sedative effect. The increase in its concentration in the blood is a signal that informs the body that it is dark and that therefore the time has come to sleep and rest. The fifth technique proposed by Aki was yoga, a spiritual dance between body and mind. This age-old practice not only includes a series of postures that gently guide you towards a night of deep rest through massage and a release of bodily tension. The sixth technique I want to tell you about, Aki continued, is twilight aromatherapy, which is the use of essential oils such as lavender, sweet orange, mandarin, bergamot, sandalwood, or neroli. These essential oils can be used during a bath to massage the body or to diffuse into the environment. By using them, you will quickly realize the power they have to relax the mind and prepare it for a peaceful sleep. The seventh technique was to avoid external stimuli. Turn off electronic devices at least an hour before bedtime to create an environment conducive to sleep. The monitors of the technological objects we use nowadays, Aki added, are the worst thing that could exist for our sleep. So, even if it's difficult to do without them, reduce the time you use them. While the young man was happy to listen to all these teachings and was already thinking about how to introduce them into his daily life, Aki introduced the eighth technique, maintaining a regular routine of going to bed and getting up at the same time every day. Respecting the same times every day, said the master, helps stabilize the circadian cycle, improving the quality of sleep and promoting the synchronization of hormones. The last technique Aki talked about was the one related to keeping the bedroom dark. If there are too many light sources, they end up disturbing us and ruining the quality of our sleep. So boy, keep your windows tightly shut and avoid warning lights and glowing clocks. The young man, after having listened carefully to every word, thanked Aki and promised himself to put the various teachings into practice. As the week passed, he began to incorporate these practices into his daily routine, discovering a new way to experience sleep. Sleeping better allowed him to gain the serenity he was missing, to overcome worries and anxieties, and to strengthen his memory and physical and mental resistance. In conclusion, what does this story teach us? It teaches us that the quality of our sleep affects all aspects of our health, both mental and physical, and the fact that sleep is something natural, part of our physiology, should not make us take it for granted, leading us to neglect it. Sleep has a significant impact on physical and mental health as it contributes to the regulation of metabolic functions, immune function, memory, and cognitive abilities. A lack of sleep or poor quality of sleep can therefore have negative effects on overall health and well-being, increasing the risk of developing chronic diseases, mood disorders, and memory and concentration problems. For this reason, it is important to do our best to achieve good quality sleep.